Hello, everybody. It's Daniel here, and this is our next emotional English podcast episode where we learn an English language effortlessly, emotionally, fulfilled with energy, and of course, positively. Welcome, everybody. Today, I've prepared another story for you guys, another topic for your practical skills. Today, we discuss the topic of money, personal finance tips for us, how to keep track of your money, personal finance tips. That is the topic for today. And this topic contains some methods, right? And today I'm facing the method number 1. We'll discuss with you how to keep track of finances manually, okay? Manual method. So manual, it's the opposite of automatical, right? Or automatic method, right? So this is the complete opposite. When you do things with your own control, with your own hands, I would say, without an extra gadgets or something else. So it's a completely manual option. You don't need to buy anything, maybe just a little book or copybook or, I don't know, notepad. Doesn't matter. What are you using? But the ideas which are inside of this method are vital. Vital. It means very, very important for you guys. Very vital. It's vitally important to follow these ideas because they are crucial, right? Crucial means very, very important, like vital, has super importance, right? Crucial, vital, very important. Just remember that. So when you follow the method which we are facing today, you can achieve better money management skills and you can improve your money management skills to the next level. And today I want to start things off by saying that there are some things you should know first. Before we start facing the method number 1, I want you to think about 4 statements which we're having here. And the statement number 1 is the statement that I'm using the website wikihow.com. It's a website with many topics in English and in Russian. You can use these topics to improve your life. There are many practical topics which you can read and discuss with your friends. So I highly recommend you this website. And the topic which we discussed today has prepared by Gina Diamour, financial accountant. So she updated this topic in September 3rd, 2023. So it's not very old topic here. And this article is quite interesting one. So, and the third thing is some important tips which we should know before we start facing the method. Number 1 thing is we should divide our expenses into categories, right? This is like an overall recommendations, right? So we should divide our expenses into categories, right? What does it mean divide? Maybe you like Ed Sheeran and, Ed Sheeran, he has the album named Divide. So at divide, it means when you dividing things, let's say 4 divide 2 equals 2, right? It's just a standard math symbol with just like it's like a dash, right? Or what is that? Yeah, it's like a stick which goes a little bit right. Yeah, this is the symbol of divide. So, and when you dividing things, you're having 50% less, or depends on what amount you're dividing. So, okay, does it make sense for you guys? I hope yes. So divide your expenses. So we need to split. It's the synonym to divide. We need to split our expenses into categories. And the category number 1, what they are offering us is housing. So all expenses or all money you spend on your house, it's called housing expenses. Expenses means the money you spend, right? This budget you spend, it's called expenses. When you spend $2 on your chocolate, it means it's your food expenses, right? When you spend $2 on domestos, this is your housing expenses. So you spend your money and this thing which you're buying connected to your house. And they recommend us to make more of these categories. Housing category, traveling, so all expenses with travelings will go there. Dining, and something else, right? They help us to track all of these sections more easily, right? So when you want to know how much money you have spent on your food, you can easily open this category and count and just, and see the full amount, the total amount for this category. The second recommendation is we should log expenses immediately after spending the money to stay on top of our finances. Yeah, that's pretty good recommendation because most of the time people are very, very lazy and we don't immediately put this information into or log this information, right? We didn't jot down this information because we are lazy. We are lazy. We think, oh, later on. But, this later is always tomorrow or, the hour later or something. And you always feel so bored or, so tired to finish this activity until the end. So that's why log expenses immediately is a number one rule for us if we want to control our finances, okay? Immediately means right away, now. So no waiting, immediately, right? So should you learn English immediately? Of course, because tomorrow is always in the future and you should work on your English today. It means immediately do your English exercises or routine, whatever you have. And today, you doing this, guys. I really congratulate you with this cool opportunity that you're having right now. You're listening, you're improving your language. It's really, really nice. So my congratulations, guys. So next thing is use a personal finance app to digitally manage your expenses and analyze your spending habits. Yeah, that's an option. But again, it's just you need a device. You need a phone to do that. And it's a little bit different what we're going to discuss today because we're going to discuss how to keep track, how to control of our finances manually without using any devices or financial apps. Maybe a little bit in the end, we will discuss this topic, but not much. And the last one, set up a separate spending account for entertainment expenses so you don't accidentally spend money that needs to go towards bills. It's a good section, so let's discuss it a little bit deeper to understand all words. Set up a separate spending account. So for example, you have account for all your expenses, for all your spendings, right? And you can open the second card of that account and you can put the amount you ready to spend for entertainment. All right. So you remember about these different categories, right? You had planned some, amount for your entertainment purposes, right? So you use only another card for entertainment with that budget and you're not go over it, okay? Because if you're doing this, you're going out of your budget and this is not what you really want. It's not the true management. So follow your budget. So that's what they recommend us here. So separate spending account for entertainment expenses so you don't accidentally spend money that needs to go toward bills. So you need money not only for your entertainment, right? So you need money for your bills, for your electricity bill, for your TV bill, for your internet bill, right? So these all are things which you should pay for, right? And this is called bills. You pay bills every month, right? Every month you pay for your internet. Every month you pay for your electricity. Every month you pay to the gas company or whatever expenses you have. So this is utilities, right? Utilities. That's how my category named for these purposes. So utilities, right? And let's begin with method number 1, keeping track of finance manually, shall we? So there are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps here to make it clear. And we start from the step number 1. And the step number 1 called create a tracking system that works for you. Yeah, we should create a tracking system that works for us. What does it mean, tracking system? It's the system which you can scan and understand how things work. So you track something when you control something, right? When you create a tracking system for your pets, right? For example, you see on the map where your pet is going. It's a tracking system. It's a controlling system for your pet, right? But you need to create a tracking system that works for you in the case of daily finances, right? So, and let's see what this beautiful section or this website is offering us. The most important part of keeping track of your finances is consistency. Yeah, very good word. My favorite word, consistency. Regardless of which way you log your transactions, you must be able to refer back to them easily and reliably. Be sure to include important information like the date, the amount spent or gained, and the expense category with each entry. Also, make recordings consistently so your log stays up to date. Here you go. That's the end. So a couple things I want to discuss here. So we have the topic of keeping track of our finances. And the number one thing here is, which help us, is the consistency. Consistency. It's this thing what you do every single day. When you are pretty stable with your habit, you practicing consistency. It's important to do your English practice consistently, because when you do things consistently, you're really creating consistency in life and you feel good results. You are having good results. But when you're not consistent enough, so that's where consistency is working backward. So no consistency, no results. That's the logic. Regardless of which way you log your transactions, regardless means no matter how or what way you log your transactions, you must be able to refer back to them easily and reliably. So it doesn't matter what kind of way you're using for creating your tracking system. The thing is, you must be able to refer back. You must be able to come back to these notes very easily in any moment, right? Reliably. It means without any problems, right? You know, reliably means you trust the way you do things, right? So this is a reliable system. It will not crack. It will not break, right? It's reliable. You can trust your system. It's trustworthy system, right? And you can also include different information like we discussed before. It can be these expense categories. It could be the date you've spent the money, or the amount you spent or gained. And yeah, also you can make recordings consistently because you need to do this because you need to log your expenses in a daily basis. Without this logging, log means writing down your expenses. Without logging, you have no consistency. Okay, so if you for example, it is Monday. On Monday, you bought chocolate. You bought some tickets to the cinema, and you haven't logged this information to your diary or to your special paper or app. So the problem is you always finding yourself in a bad situation when you're forgetting things, right? And we're not perfect. We can forget things. That is why it's better to do things consistently without skipping any type of procedure, okay? So that's the case. That's what this first category is about. So they recommend us here to use color coding. So color coding, it's like, let's say green means food, red means entertainment, and you can use different type of ink Ink, it's what your pen has inside. So when you're writing with a red ink, so all the words are red. When you write with blue ink, all the words are blue, right? So that's an ink color coding which you use in your tracking system. I don't use it, so that's why I don't know. Maybe you need this, but I use just a normal black pen ink, and it works. It worked perfectly for me. And you can do it daily. You can write down or log your expenses daily, weekly, or another cool thing. I think bi-weekly, right? That's the correct pronunciation, I guess. Bi-weekly. It means every 2 weeks, right? It could be like a twice a week, right? Twice a week. So 2 weeks, it means every 2 weeks, or twice a week. Okay, so that's how it works. In this context, I guess they say that it must be 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, or probably 2 times a week. You sit down and you do this. As for me, I had chosen the option with weekly logging of my expenses. So I do it every Saturday morning, and it works very good when you do it consistently. Okay, so that was the number 1 step. Next step is keep an expense and budget notebook that tracks your spending. Keep an expense and budget notebook, right? This is the noun, expense notebook or budget notebook. So you need to create this notebook. You need to buy this special notebook. You need to name it budget notebook, and you should track there all your spendings. Again, we're talking about manual option here. So that's why that is the number 1 step. Yes, maybe it's not that modern, I guess, but this is very good for your discipline. When you have the notebook with this name, budget notebook, and you collect all data there, it works very nicely. It is disciplining you, and you are becoming a better person without using any other instruments or devices. So it's only my decision. It's only my recommendation to you guys. I'll tell you in the end of this episode what system do I use, and maybe you will use that system as well. But it's for the start if you haven't got any systems yet. So this is the best you can start with, okay? So the simplest way to track your finances, they say, is to record each transaction in a notebook. Thank you, Mr. The person who we know, or I don't know how you call this guy, Packard, the captain. Thank you, Captain, right? You say, yes, Packard. From Star Trek? Yeah. So choose to use the notebook for spending only, or opt for a more detailed approach by logging how much you want to spend and what you end up spending. Keeping track of where your money goes can help you learn what expenses affect your account balance the most. Okay, I think it's not worth to go super deep in this case, but I would just say that when you do have this notebook, you understand more detailed approach, because when you have a special book for your expenses, it's not just in your mind, it's in a specific place, and specificity is a good thing for our purpose of keeping track of our finances, right? And if you keeping track of your finances manually, this is a good approach to do so, right? Just follow this idea, and you have one place where all detailed information logged, right? So that's the case. What they recommend us here, there are 2 moments. Consider transferring the information from your notebook to a computer spreadsheet at the end of each month of a year. This way you'll have double records. Yes, it's a good recommendation. So you're not only having this little piece of paper, which you can burn or forget somewhere, right? You can have a spreadsheet. Spreadsheet is like electronic document somewhere with Excel or Microsoft Excel app. Yes, or you can use Google spreadsheet document, and you can just add or log all information there, like doubling the information. So that's what I do, actually. I plan for a long period and then on a daily basis. Okay, I will keep it in secret. I'll tell you my system in the end. So next one is, if you don't want to make your own logbook, try finding one online. Simply search finance logbook template and find a design that works best for you. Yes, this is the option what they recommend us here, logbook online. If you don't know how to find it, just Google it. Google finance logbook template, TEMPLATE. So finance log book template, right? Logbook template. And you Google it and you can have many options and designs. You can find the best one for yourself. And it's free of charge. I don't think so that you must pay for something for it. It's pretty free, right? It's very nice. So that's the second step we just accomplished. The step number 3 is use a computer spreadsheet to organize your budget and expenses. Use a computer spreadsheet to organize your budget and expenses. Yes, this step is very connected with the step number 2. Instead of using your offline notepad or logbook, you use a computer spreadsheet like Excel document, like we discussed before, and you organize your budget and expenses there. So a simple Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets spreadsheet can help you manage your expenses easily and efficiently. By the way, very good word, efficiently. It means you can do things in an easy way, right? And efficiently, you can save some time, right? Because if you have just a logbook and you manually adding some information there with your pen, you can forget your pen somewhere and then you're without your instrument, right? But you have your phone almost always with you, and you can just go to your Google platform and add all data there on your own. But you can use your own options, guys. That's just a recommendation. I prefer to use both computer spreadsheet and the manual option together. It's disciplining yourself better and it works amazingly well. So, plus, it can even create graphs to help you understand your spending better. So I think it's kind of useless. I never use graphs. Numbers, what the Pythagoras said, right? One day Pythagoras said, what is the most powerful thing in the world? And he said, the number, right? The number, not the letter, not the graph. He said number. So numbers show everything what we need, right? These calculations show enough for us, right? So we can start by making a personal budget for a weekly or monthly basis. It's pretty valuable, I would say. So you can plan your week budget or month budget. So you can have and make your personal budget for a weekly or monthly basis, and then use the tracking system you've created to start inputting your data under columns for amounts, type of expense, date of transaction, and etc. Yeah, you can make many different columns there, but in my opinion, it's, again, the waste of your time. The best thing what you should do is where you spend this money, and then when you did that, and the category. That's good enough. Nothing else you need, to be honest, because it's just too many management. It's over management. It's too much, right? You don't want that. So, to create a personal budget, start by listing your fixed expenses each month. Yes, it's a good recommendation. When you have your personal budget started with fixed expenses, for example, 100% that you need 15,000 rubles or 20,000 rubles to rent your room or to pay for your credit. You know that this is your fixed expenses and you have the column for that. Fixed expenses, you know that you need this amount of money 100%, so you cannot rely on that money, right? You cannot just go and have fun and spend the whole salary on something else, right? On the fun activity. No. You have your fixed expenses. You should follow your plan and control and manage your finances, right? So this is the case. It can be rent. It can be your utilities, like we discussed, right? Like your internet, your gas, or your electricity, all these expenses, right? And probably the better way is to do and pay for it first day of each month, right? So the day number one, you know for sure how much money you need for spending. And with knowing this data, you can easily plan other expenses, right? Other expenses are much more easier to follow or to find and to see the picture clearly by following this idea, right? So you're establishing your personal budget and your fixed expenses, and then you use the amount which you have left, and you plan how you're going to spend that, okay? If you don't want to create your own spreadsheet, no worries, like we discussed before, you can download it, right, on the internet. So financial tracker spreadsheet template, it's another option you can use. You can use these words to find your spreadsheet template and financial tracker. But in my opinion, you should start from your very first personal financial tracker, because it will give you some understanding how it works, and you will grow up as a person, I guess, because you would create that. You know, it's not somebody else's, but you would create that. It's very important. It's very, very important. Okay, so that was the number 3 thing. Number 4 is keep a checkbox to track deposit and transactions. Okay, I don't want to read that because this is kind of stupid. It's a little bit old style. It's for grannies, I guess, or for old people. So the idea is pretty simple. So you should keep a checkbox to track deposit and transactions. It's like debit and credit in the company, but in America, you know, they had these checkbooks which they used for writing checks and giving checks to other people, right? And these checkbooks help people to control their debits and credits. So debits, it's the money you have right now, and credits, it's the money what you use to buy things, right? When your credits are higher than your debits, it means that you are in debt, man. If your debits higher than your credits, it's a good thing. It's a good sign. It means that you're living with wealth, right? So this part which is left in the end of the month, it's savings. So you can use it for the future time. It's the debit for the next month. So that's what the checkbook is. So it's a double control of your system of the bank. So you're not just using your bank app to check where you pay or what do you spend your money on, right? Or for. So you can just self-control with this extra manual option, checkbook. And I think we don't need this. I cannot recommend you this thing because this is a total useless thing. They say here that it's kind of helping you to control fraudulent activities. Yeah, frauds, it's the people who steal money from you. Fraudulent activity, it's something strange with your, with your credits. When you see that somebody got, let's say, 100 rubles from your account, you're like, I didn't make this transaction. Who did that? And then you double check. It could be a fraudulent activity, right? That's what it is, actually. That's what it is. So they recommend keep the checkbook for your transactions. And all right, so all your transactions are in your budget. So why you should have the extra book for that. I think it's not what we need. We can skip it. But the next one is pretty useful. And I think it's why you're doing all the previous work is to analyze your finances at the end of each month and to make a working budget. So, some budgets which I had before, they were not very realistic. And I was planning one thing and I had another picture in the end. So to get rid of that situation, you should analyze your finances at the end of each month to make a normal working budget worksheet or whatever you have. So regardless of which method you choose to track your finances, reviewing your earnings and spending habits at the end of each month can help your budget for the future. It's absolutely correct. I completely agree with that. Because if you don't analyze, if you don't control your full expenses in the end of each month, so you have completely no idea what is your real working budget is. So where do you spend the most money? Did you earn less or save more? Use this kind of budget techniques to learn more about your opportunities, right? You can make some adjustments to your budget, right? Adjustment means some changes. Adjust. It means to change something, right? Let's, for example, imagine we have the food section, right? And in this food section, we have the budget of 10,000 rubles per month only on food. So we can adjust this budget if we saved more. Let's say this month you made a good result with 8,000 rubles spent on your food. You can adjust this amount to 8,000 next month to be more effective. And that's more realistic. It's more efficient. And you can save 2,000 rubles more and put it on something else or move it to another segment of your budget. Isn't it cool? I guess it is. They have two recommendations here. Let's check what they show us here. Start by totaling your expenses and comparing the sum to your monthly income. If you're spending more than you're making, identify the source of your overspending. Yeah. So if you have another situation, I gave you the example with a positive situation when you spend less. But there are some moments when you have the completely opposite. It's my situation, very popular situation of mine. So when you see that you overspent your budget, so you should think thrice for the next month and decide why did it happen. And you know what? Sometimes it happens because this month was more active in this area. And that's why you should have planned kind of better and effective budget for that month, but you haven't got that done. And you for the next month, you absolutely will do a better job and you will plan it in a better way. But no matter what you got, just work and analyze and teach yourself how to do it in the end of the month, every single time. Make mistakes, practice more options. Only with these actions, you can learn something. If you just avoiding it, if you just think it's stupid, it's useless, of course you will never learn why you have that gap in your budget or why you have this terrible situation with your finances. You should learn. And there are so many books about this topic, and it's a big problem nowadays, guys. So the second situation, what they recommend us here, it's a total your spending by category to identify where your money is going. Okay, actually, we discussed it already. That is, combine the total spend in each expense category and compare them to each other, or divide the total of each category by the total of all of your monthly expenses to get a percentage of total category expenses. I don't need this. I don't need to understand what the percentage I spend on each category. What really matters to me is that it's hard to understand how much money do I need for my clothing, for example. I can analyze this budget section only in the end of the year because I can see clearly how much money did I spend on my clothing. If I spent a little, then I can understand that maybe this year I will need a new coat, right? And the situation is different every single year because you can buy a coat one time per the 5-year period, right? So you don't need to buy a new coat every year, right? So in this situation, you should be smart and analyze even deeper. You should plan your budget yearly and then divide this sum into categories on each month. Or you can decide which month is the best for your purchasing and just to buy clothes only that month, right? If it's your guilty pleasure and you do this shopping or shopaholism thing every month, so it's your problem, not mine. So you should be more efficient with your money and you should control of your budget personally. So, and talking of me, I can say that as far as I can tell, my system works pretty stably. I can say that my system is stable enough for myself, because sometimes I do have some problems with that, but logically, every month I can see what amount of money do I need and where my money goes. And that's actually the reason why you do all these manipulations, why you're keeping track of your finances manually. I manually go to my app. I use Google spreadsheet, and on my Mac, I use another app. I don't remember the name of it, but I manually add my expenses once per week. And if I spent a lot, I just add this spending into the notepad or somewhere. And then I just add all these numbers to my main program or my app. And it works good for me. So that's actually all what we got for today. So I use just a classic system of year budget planning and then month budget planning. And then I just week by week, I add some details and analyze my budgets. And that's how my system works. I use the manual option with a page, right? It means just the copybook. I have a couple copybooks with my investment plan and with my goal plans. So I use the copybooks as well. I think it's pretty effective. It's very good because you can see it clearly. With your own hands. You can have it with you in the forest. You can think about it somewhere where you have no internet, and you don't need an internet for that purpose. And I can draw a picture of my future budget plan or something like this, and I can decide what to do with my money. So that's all what I wanted to say to you guys today. Next time, we will discuss the topic of using a personal finance app as an alternative of the manual option. And another method is the money management tips, which you could use, to do it even more effectively. So we can face it all together next time, or if something goes wrong, I think we could just make it in a more efficient way by dividing these two topics into 2 episodes. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you all to being with us here today, and I hug you all. I recommend you to listen our podcast as more as you can for your English practice. If you do have any questions or recommendations to our podcast, please find me on Instagram. It's instagram.com/bondarison. And just write me a message of what kind of podcast or topic you're interested in the most, and what you want to see on our daily or weekly basis on our podcast. So just let me know. I hug you all, and have an amazing time with your English practice. Have a good one, guys. And see you very soon. Bye-bye.